I don't do transitional material. I'm Rich at Commander Capital, and today we're going to go back and finish up real quick on the topic of diet. This isn't about diet exactly, but about physical health. It's my diet. It's intermittent fasting. It's not really a diet. It's a process. It's a way of, it's a schedule of consumption that, when done properly, can boost your energy, or at least it did for me. And some research is coming out now talking about how it can improve or slow the aging process, increasing the longevity or the lifespan, the healthy lifespan that is, as well as bring down insulin tolerance, and help you handle glucose in your body, in your blood. So intermittent fasting is a new concept, pretty common recently. A lot of people are talking about it. Tom Bilyeu, and he's had people talking about it, but more or less, a lot of people getting behind it, and so I just wanted to mention it here as something we're going to come back to later. This is not a full discussion on that. Again, I'm just introducing things real quick that I'm going to make full videos on later, or there's many other people out there that will be talking about it, and so you can use these keywords I give you. So I say intermittent fasting, longevity, lifespan, decreased aging, slowing aging process. Any of these are keywords you can look up now that you know about it. That's why I'm introducing the topics first, is I want you to know about it right away. So if this one of these topics interests you, you can look into this topic. You can look that keyword up. You can go to Google and you can find the expert to talk to you about that. I'm not an expert on intermittent fasting. I'm not an expert on blood glucose, but I know a little bit, and I know that the concepts exist. And so there's a little bit of a transition us now from, we're talking about physical health into mental health, and one of the properties of mental health is knowing what things mean, knowing what things are, knowing what you know, knowing what you don't know. And part of what I'm introducing these keywords and these topics and ideas first, the purpose of doing so is that I'm broadening the scope of topics that you may have never been introduced to. Many of you have been introduced to many of these topics, I understand that. But even those of you who are familiar may benefit from being reminded the importance of drinking water, sleeping, giving your body some time away from eating, is what we call intermittent fasting. There's tons of different things that if you're not familiar with the concept of, like you can't really understand it. So part of the purpose of Commander Capital is broadening your understanding, helping people understand things that they didn't know that they didn't know. So if you didn't know about intermittent fasting reducing the aging process, increasing the lifespan, well, now you do. You've been exposed to that idea, and you can look into it if you want to. You can do what you like with it. But the point is to introduce topics to people who may have not been exposed, may not have had the luxury of being exposed, or basically just get the word out about healthy information that can be really valuable. So the focus, some of the things I want to talk about in mental health is what, knowing what you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know, but you can work toward filling in the gaps in your understanding, even if you don't know they're there, by broadening your informational scope in different ways. And this channel is hopefully one of those ways. But there's things you know that you know, there's things that you know that you don't know, there's things that you don't know that you know, but you do know them. But then there's things that you don't know that you don't know, and that's kind of what I've been talking about a little bit here. But just understanding that there's those four categories could be something that you didn't understand in the first place. It's a very famous scene from the Boondocks, Samuel L. Jackson. Great show, the Boondocks. Anyway, There are known knowns and there are unknown unknowns. I'll stop. So that's the first topic, what I want to call mental health. One of the main topics. Knowing what you don't know, or approaching what you don't know that you don't know. Which is interesting because you really can't do that. But there's more to it. So there's the epistemology factor, which is what exactly do these words mean? So I've been giving you these keywords: fasting, longevity, knowledge, wizard. What do I mean by these words? Invest. There's a lot of different words, and they might mean different things to different people at different times and in different contexts. I'm here to clarify not only a general understanding of different words, but also to utilize words in a unique way, maybe not unique, but in a particular way, to add value to the conversation, to add value to my vocabulary, so I can refer to a specific thing. If you define a word in a specific way and use it in a specific sense, you can refer to a specific thing in a specific way, and you can be more accurate with your language. And that's something I try to do, is I try to choose my words very carefully, and because I know that people are going to look back at this at someday. Someone's going to see this at some point, maybe even just me, I don't know, but they're going to see the words that I've chosen to use, and they're going to evaluate what I'm saying based on those words. And so the only way to evaluate my message is based on my word choice. So I try to be very careful with that, so that my message can be understood very well, and so that I'm saying what I mean, and people understand it that way. Now, you can't be perfectly understood by everybody. Some people will misunderstand you or take a different perspective on that, and that's another topic I want to get to in mental health. This is all under the realm of mental health to me, is defining words, knowing what you don't know. Where was it? That's what you lose your train of thought when you don't have it written down. But damn, where the hell was I? So you need to know what words mean, because if you don't know what a word means, you're going to be communicating incorrectly, unclearly. So partly I'm going to help people here learn what words mean, discuss what words mean, and then potentially define words in multiple ways, so that you understand, okay, so we're talking about investing financially, or investing in your health, or investing in so there's certain words have different multiple meanings, and you might want to clarify what you mean at that particular time. And if you don't know what a word means, fuck. And lastly, perspective and attention. What I was meaning to say there was perspective. I lost my train of thought because I lost my attention of what I was saying. Attention and perspective are so key that they actually craft and create the entire world around you. That might seem like an overstatement, but there was this great study I saw one time that was the gorilla experiment. It's attentional blindness gorilla experiment. They take 6 basketball players, 3 in white shirts, 3 in black shirts, and they're standing in a basketball court, and they're passing a ball around. Okay, I think maybe there's 2 balls. The black players are passing between the black shirt players, and the players in the white shirts are passing the ball only between players in the white shirts. So it's kind of a cluster. Everybody's kind of moving around. It's a little bit chaotic. And the video is only like 25 seconds long. But the researcher will say to the subject, count the number of passes that the players in the white shirts do. How many times does the ball pass between a player in a white shirt and a player in a white shirt? And the subject is, okay, sure, no problem. And they'll watch the video, and in this 20 seconds or whatever, I don't know, there's 16, 20, 25 passes, something like that. And they're counting the passes very carefully. They're watching super closely. But meanwhile, 5 seconds into the video, some dude in a gorilla costume like walks out like into the middle of the camera, like walks right out into the front of the camera, beats his chest a little bit, walks off. And then at the end of after they asked the subjects to report how many passes it counted, they asked them, did you notice the gorilla? And it's a very high percentage of the participants don't see the gorilla. In the video that they just watched, in a 20-second video where a gorilla walks into the center of the screen, beats on its chest, and then walks slowly off the screen, you don't notice the gorilla. Why? Because your attention was not focused on, black shirts, big black objects moving around this screen. It was focused on the white objects moving around the screen. And so your attention is dialed into something, which dials you out of paying attention to other things. And so psychologists have deemed this attentional blindness. So when you don't know of something at all, you can't even see it, or something like that. This is the importance of exposing yourself to what you don't know that you don't know. The importance of attention is that you can direct your attention to solve the problems that are important to or relevant to you. Your attention is your troubleshooter. It is your cognitive and conscious problem solver. It is the way that you as an organism are meant to solve the most complex problems. So your attention being for that can be free to be undisciplined in this current society we live in, because there's not a lot of demands, there's not predators lurking, you don't have to be on alert. You can pretty much relax and chill at home and watch Netflix and just let your attention just whatever the show turns on next, I'll just watch that. Very easy to just let your attention drift into whatever it wants. But I assure you, if you can take your attention and dial it in to what you want in this world, focus it in a way, and if you know how, and this is another part of the key, you will need to, if you can direct your attention to what you want to attend to, and if you know what will be valuable to focus your attention on, if you have those two things, you're completely unstoppable.